Hey, welcome back to Trucker Mommy. If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment down below. Today I am actually 2 days into my semester. I picked up 2 classes. I'm majoring in psychology for my undergrad. I quit school, I don't even remember how many years ago now, 9 years ago, when I found out I was pregnant with my first kid, and I never finished. So I am just 6 classes away from graduating, but I'm only taking 2 classes at a time because I got this one to take care of here. So I've been studying for my what is it called? Biomedical ethics class. It's really interesting, and it's also a little bit irritating to study for because there's so many little details that I have to be aware of, and so I need a break. So hi, here I am. Yeah, this is my textbook, by the way, for this semester. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, for one class. My other class is on personalities, which I don't know how that's going to go either, but I think they'll be fun. Sorry. I think they'll be fun. I just need to get over that. There's always a learning curve when studying something. And philosophy and ethics kind of go hand in hand. It's actually a philosophy class. The biomedical ethics is a philosophy class, so I struggle with those kinds of concepts. I find them fascinating and also difficult because it's not something that I can grasp as easily as like mathematics or something like that. That to me is, my mind works better and with formulas and equations and things like that that make sense. These things just, there's kind of some formulas to them. Each person has their own kind of formula for how ethics work, but a lot of it is kind of up to personal, what do you call, morality or something. Yeah, so it's confusing. But I wanted to come back and today maybe talk about how I got that other dump truck. So, right, my husband had a side dump, then we got a dump truck back in 2020, a Quint axle, and that was a truck that I was driving after being a driver for a company, driving our own truck, and then we got a quad axle dump truck for my business. So first of all, the way this all happened, I found out I was pregnant the end of November 2022, and I knew that things are going to have to be different because I will not be driving for a while. And I've always kind of known that driving is not something that I want to keep doing anyway. So, you know what, I'm not sure this is recording. Let me check real quick. Hey, sorry, I don't know if I'm lined up right, but yeah, I think it's recording, so I'm going to continue. So, sorry. So, I knew we were going to have to do something different. My husband and I, we talked about it, and he thought it would be good for me to get like a work from home job or something I could do online, which I thought he was kind of crazy because how am I going to work from home while taking care of a baby? That's not very practical. He thought, well, if I get a job before she's born, then I can just continue it. Maybe I can take a little time off and then keep going. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because one, I'm going to take a huge pay cut because the starting jobs for work from home jobs, they're like $15 an hour, I could go to Target and get paid more than that. Like, yeah, it's in person, but I get paid more for my time. But like, why would I do that when I can just hop in that truck? And like, if I keep driving, then maybe we can buy another truck and throw a driver in it. And then when I have to be home, then we throw a driver in that. And now we have 2 drivers plus he's going to keep driving, right? So then we'd have 3 trucks. So I did look for a work from home job a little bit. I didn't put in as much effort as he thought I should, but I didn't really want to do it anyway, so too bad. So I never did actually land a job. I did a couple of interviews, but they wanted me to come in person and stuff, and it's just, no, it's not going to work. So yeah, so when work started up, I was home from the end of December 2022 until April 2023, when my husband's side dump started up. He drove the dump truck from January to towards the end of April 23. Excuse me a minute. I get these snacks, these little yogurt melts, and she loves them. So anyway, so I started driving again in April, and I told my husband, like, let's just stack the money up and kind of cross our fingers, hope that we get a truck this year before the baby's born. So we just work and work and work and work and work and just buy the very minimum, spend the very minimum amount of money on anything. And then, when was it? In, I think, late April, early May, he actually got a email from a banker, and this person was saying, like, hey, there's a dump truck available, talk to this guy. So I followed up, I talked to that guy, right, because I'm the one who wants to buy this truck, not my husband. So, but he's the one who got the heads up. So I called him, like, hey, I heard from this banker that you have a truck. And so I went to go see it on, we sometimes get days where we don't work, like for rain days or whatever, during the week. So I think it was a rain day. I showed up to the dealership where the truck was supposed to be. It wasn't there yet. They were working on, what's it called? What's the word? They take it somewhere and they kind of detail it and get it ready to sell again after they purchase it. It's a used truck, so it wasn't ready to sell yet. They had to do some work on it outside, like a couple hours away. So when I showed up at the dealership, it hadn't arrived yet. So I talked to a different salesperson because the original one I talked to wasn't there. And he's like, hey, just so you know, if you have any interest in this truck whatsoever, put something down. Hold it, because it will go. Someone's going to buy it. And if you want that person to be you, you've got to reserve it, basically. So, so I called up the other sales guy, the original one, talked to him. I'm like, so how does that work? If I haven't seen the truck yet, right? So I don't even know at this point if it's something I want to buy or not. How strict are you on the money down thing? Like, will I get it back if I change my mind because I haven't seen it yet? Like, if I don't want it? And he's like, yeah, you get full refund if you don't want the truck. So I have nothing to lose, right? All that's at stake is credit, because I know we don't need to put cash for to hold something if we have credit. like credit cards. So I used my, I just finally had just gotten a business card. This is my husband had been bugging me too for a while. I finally got a business account and a business card, business credit card. And so I just gave him my business credit card information, and I put like, I think it was like 1,000 down on this truck to just to hold it. Hadn't seen it yet. And so then I was just waiting, and I waited about a month for everything to process, for our application to go through, everything. And because my business, I didn't really have the credit, my husband ended up co-signing for my business. So his business co-signed my business. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. And sorry. And then I got the truck. I actually, funny story, I never actually saw the truck before I purchased it. To check it out before I applied for financing. It was in on a day where my husband was off, but I was not. So I was working. I was working like 10, 12-hour days, actually, back in May. So I didn't have time to see the truck. Had my husband test drive it. I asked him, "What do you think? Is it worth it? Would you buy it if I didn't want it? Is this something you would buy?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a really good truck. Buy it." I'm like, "Okay." So I was so confused when I went to pick the truck up after I got financing and everything. I didn't even ask to see the truck. I signed for everything. They gave me the keys. And now that's when I'm seeing the truck for the first time. First time. I'd already purchased the truck. It's my truck now. My company's truck. I hadn't even seen it yet. So it's crazy. So I got to the truck. I kind of looked it over a little bit, and I couldn't drive it home because I was just I'd shown up in, what did I show up in? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I showed up in the Quint, in the other dump truck. So like, I'm not gonna leave that truck there. So I was working it the next day, I'm pretty sure. So I ended up I don't remember actually but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure I drove the dump truck to go sign. So I signed everything, left it there. Then my husband and I had to come back later together in the car and go pick it up, right? So then I got to drive it home. Well, home for our trucks is where we park the trucks. It's not where we live, obviously. We live in a residential neighborhood, so we can't, we don't have room for our trucks where we live. Yeah, so brought the truck back, and then I don't know what day was that? Friday? I think it was a Friday or something. Thursday. I don't know. Anyway, whatever day it was, I had I had work for that truck by the next business day. Like not the next business day. I think I had one day off or something. I don't know, but anyway, by the next week, I had work for that truck already. I had a driver, and I had to work. So we got that truck, and it was on the road right away. So it worked out, and I kept working though. The original plan was I was going to work until our kids were out for the summer, because they get out in May. And that year, which was last year, they got out, I think, like the third week of May. So my my husband's like, well, you'll just be home taking care of the kids, and that way we won't have to get someone to watch the kids. 'Cause during the school year, during the school year, we have his mom drop them off at school in the morning. So she comes early to our house, like at 6, gets them ready and takes them to school. They stay there till aftercare, and then my husband and I have to work out who's going to pick them up before aftercare closes at, 5:30. We got to pick them up at 5:30. So sometimes one of us has to sign out early from work, and that always sucks because we're losing hours, but we gotta get our kids. So usually we work it out to where usually we don't have to sign out early, but occasionally we did. But in summer, they need to be either, well, anyway, we'd have to have somebody stay with us in the house. And so I was just going to be home. But unfortunately, that year in May, my grandpa died. My mom's dad. She had been taking care of him for like 5 years. He was old. I think he was 90 when he died. But it doesn't really matter. When somebody dies, like, we're not prepared for it. That's what I'm trying to say. We're never prepared for someone leaving us. I firmly believe that humans were not created to experience death. I don't believe that. Personal belief. And if you don't believe the same as me, that's cool. That's just what I believe. Because it's always hard when somebody dies. So my grandpa died. My mom had been working, her job was to take care of him, and it was only part-time through a grant from the VA, the Veterans Affairs, I think. So she was not only out of, she didn't just lose her dad, she lost her income as well. So I told her, hey, if you come watch the kids, all you have to do pretty much is make sure they eat. It's not that complicated. Bonus, if you do some housework, that would be awesome, because I really don't have that much time to do it when I'm home, because I'm driving so much. I'll pay you at least as much as you were getting to take care of my grandpa, and probably some extra on top. And all you have to do is hang out with the grandkids, basically. So, so that's what we did, and she ended up staying with us until this one was born, and stayed a few days after she was born, and then she went to be with my brother in Tennessee, but that's another story. But yeah, so because my mom was here, I was able to work longer because my boys were well taken care of, and I didn't have to worry about them. So then I could work, my husband and I could both work as long as we needed to, and take care of the driver and any issues that would come up from that. And so I ended up working until, I was going to stop at week, 39, I think. I was originally going to go to my due date, and my midwives are like, no, that's too long. You need to stop sooner than that. And I'm like, well, how soon? And they're like, well, ideally by week 37, I think they said, 38. I'm like, well, how about we compromise and go to 39? And So I didn't quite get to week 39 where I just couldn't drive anymore. It was just too much. Sitting in the truck all day was too much. So I think I quit just a few days shy of 38. 30, 30 no, it was almost, I almost made it to 39 weeks. I think I was on week 38 when I'm like, I can't keep going. It was a week 38 plus like 3 or something. So then my husband got another driver. I ended up, it was a Thursday where it was my last day in the truck. He had to actually come over. His truck was parked that day, so thankfully he was able to come over, train in the driver. And the next day I met with the driver and did a little more training with him, and the following week he was pretty much on his own. So then I was more or less home. I still had to do some, check in with our drivers, because then we had 2 drivers now. So I think I had to meet up with the newest one a couple times the following week, and then I was home. But yeah, one of the downsides to driving truck during pregnancy is it's really bad on circulation, and not just for people who are pregnant. It's bad on circulation for anybody, but especially during pregnancy, because we're just sitting. We don't get breaks. We're discouraged from, like, we don't get breaks built into our days. We are allowed to, like, use the bathroom and stuff like that, but because we are on the clock, we are paid by the hour, they want us to keep moving, right? So they don't want us to waste time. So it's not like I can just pull over every 15 minutes or something like that. Like, that's not practical. So I would try to, like, when opportunity arose to to get out and stretch my legs, walk around the truck, check on my tires and stuff, because we go to landfills. Gotta check the tires every time we dump afterwards, making sure there's no nails or wires or screws or metal or anything poking in. And sometimes actually trash can get wound up around our axles and stuff, so sometimes in between our tires. So we gotta make sure everything is good before we leave the landfill. So that helped, because then when I was on those jobs, I had to get out anyway, which is another story. Getting in and out of a truck at 9 months pregnant is not easy at all, but I managed. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. One of the downsides was my feet would swell up really bad. So in trucking, we're supposed to wear, like, steel-toed boots, just as a safety thing. My feet wouldn't fit into steel-toed boots that I owned anyway. So I did try to use compression socks, but they don't work for me. They just bunch up, and they would actually be way more painful, because now I had these places where they're bunched up and these really tight line circles around my ankles, my feet, my legs. And so I kind of just gave up, and they, like, the reason why they're swelling is because I'm driving and I'm sitting all day. So once I'm not driving and sitting all day, I should be fine. I just need to elevate my feet and get where I'm not, that I need to be able to lay down and stuff. So that was no fun, and it was a little bit scary, because it's funny, my left foot would swell up more than my right foot, and that typically for doctors is a red flag for blood clots. So I had to get checked, I think, twice for blood clots, ultrasounds, even though we figured it out. My left foot was more swollen because my truck is automatic. I don't have a clutch. So I just have the brake and the gas pedal. I hardly ever use my left foot when I'm driving. The only time I use it is to step on the brake when I'm dumping. And then, yeah, that's the only time I use my left foot, really, unless I'm walking around. So it would swell more because I'm using my right foot more. So the fluid, the buildup of fluid, it's squeezed out when I'm using those muscles. So, sorry, I don't know if this is, her playing with my mic is going to make it sound bad, but so it was not easy. It was a sacrifice to drive during pregnancy, and it's not one that I would want to make again if I could help it. Just give me a sec. So, yes. If I had to, we do what we have to, right? We do what we need to do, and it was worth it. It was worth the sacrifice because I did get that second truck. So, and it's more income driving the truck ourselves than it is to have somebody else. It's just that we're limited because my husband can only drive one truck at a time. And I can only drive one truck at a time, so if we have drivers now, we can have more than one truck apiece. And so that helps to give us more flexibility as far as income goes. We don't have to just rely on him and myself. We can bring other people in, and we can actually make more income that way than if it was just us two. So yeah, so that's how we got that truck, and it's going okay. I'm a little bit worried still because I haven't had work for it yet this year. It's almost February as I make this video. It's the last day of January, and we have had a very warm winter. It's been actually in the 50s Fahrenheit here, which is unseasonably warm. Typically this time of year it's about right around 0 degrees or even maybe minus 20 Fahrenheit. So a lot of the winter jobs are like cleaning up ponds and such, and that's impossible when it's above freezing, because freezing is 32. So we need a nice chill to be able to get to those ponds, and I don't think that's going to happen this year. It doesn't look likely. So hopefully I'll find other work for the truck, but I know that my husband and I will pull through, and we always plan for the off season. Work is kind of seen as a bonus from like January through March. So we'll figure it out. But as far as that goes, but yes, I don't know. Anything else? Sorry, she's a little distracting. She's really excited. I think she wants to go play or something. So, and she loves screens too, so I think she can see herself because I have a little screen. Yeah. I have a little screen on my camera so she can see herself. So, she loves making videos, don't you, Nia? Yeah. Don't you? Yeah. So I think that's everything for this video. I can't think of anything else to add other than encouragement, I guess, for you all watching this. If there's something that you want to do and it seems impossible, chances are it's not. Chances are you can find a way to make it work. It might be a sacrifice. But like I said in my last video, the resources are there. There are enough resources in this world to go around for every human being that exists. It's just a matter of being able to access them. It's not a... What kind of problem? It's not a problem of availability. It's a problem of accessibility, right? So anyway, my battery's dying, so I gotta take off, and I will catch you next time. Okay, bye.